Hi, my name is Michael King from Massachusetts Family Institute. MFI is a local affiliate of Focus on the Family here in the Bay State, and our mission is to strengthen and protect the family in Massachusetts. We concentrate on three main areas, the first being the sanctity of life, believing in the importance of life from the conception of life to natural death. Secondly, we believe in the dignity of natural marriage between a man and a woman. And lastly, we believe in religious liberty, especially the almost 8,000 churches in the Bay State. We want to partner with them to protect their religious liberties. Another issue that we've been dealing with over the past year or so in Massachusetts, at least since the fall actually of 2016, many of you remember question number 4 on the ballot in 2016, which was to legalize the commercialization of marijuana. Well, we have been partnering with towns and cities all across the Bay State to help them understand how they can ban the commercialization of marijuana. And so I want to really show you some pictures tonight. Pictures tell 1,000 words regarding this whole issue of the commercialization of marijuana. And before I get into this picture here, I want to mention that in Massachusetts, many of you may not know that in 2008, we decriminalized marijuana so that you could have up to an ounce of marijuana on you and not go to jail. Perhaps if you were found with an ounce on you, you might pay a fine. I've heard the fine could be anywhere from $150 to $250, many times not even followed through with. And also to put in perspective, an ounce, as I've read, is up to perhaps 40 joints at one time. So people that say that they want to have their marijuana, they can have plenty of it under what was passed in 2008. In 2012, we okayed medical marijuana in the Bay State as well. So those of us that were concerned about the medicinal value of marijuana, well, that was already legalized as of 2012. So in 2016, we're talking about a whole different animal, which is the commercialization of marijuana, and it really is just as you can imagine, a for-profit. And so we believe that there are several concerns about the commercialization of marijuana. And tonight we want to just take a few minutes of your time to explain to you our concerns. And perhaps if you share our concerns, we'd love to partner with you to continue this incredible movement across the Bay State of towns and cities. Now over 200 towns and cities taking action to restrict the commercialization of marijuana. So this picture here, a picture tells 1,000 words, and in Colorado, over 50% of the sale of marijuana is edibles. And I ask you, who is eating edibles? Well, if you've said kids and youth, you'd be correct. And think about that, over 50% of the sale of marijuana in the state of Colorado is the sale of edibles. So this is something that we're concerned about. Especially for our kids. Also, in Colorado, you can see that there are more pot shops in Colorado than there are Starbucks and McDonald's combined. We like to say at MFI that the pot shops are growing like weeds, and the pun is intended. There are pot shops popping up all over the place, and this is what you would expect in Massachusetts if we were just to let the industry come in and have their way. Also, I want to point out a graph here from the New England Journal of Medicine. And many will say that pot is not addictive, that pot is a natural substance and does not harm you. Well, think back to the 1950s or so when cigarettes were really being marketed profusely in America. And who was marketing cigarettes when they first came out? Well, doctors many times were marketing, and we see the same thing with marijuana. We see it's being pushed as medical marijuana first, and then the commercialization comes next. And so basically what was big tobacco is now becoming big marijuana. And basically what cigarettes did to your lungs, we're now finding that marijuana does to your brain. And if you want to know what the New England Journal of Medicine has to say about it, you can see here it's a highly addictive drug. It diminishes lifetime achievement. We see this many times, kids becoming depressed. It becomes a big issue in our schools with our youth in diminishing their ability, their desire to work hard, and then other areas as well that we're concerned about. Also, I want to talk about, as we're talking about teens, I want to show you another graph here. Just think about, when did people get addicted to cigarettes? Well, they got addicted to cigarettes when they were in their teenage years, and we're finding the same to be true about marijuana. You can see here that this graph shows that the highest percentage of people taking marijuana, says here, teens are more likely to start using illicit drugs than any other age group, 16 to 17-year-olds being the highest level of usage. You can see here 26 or older, 0.3%. So clearly this drug is being targeted. Even if it's not being targeted at our teens, the teens are getting access to it. I also want to talk about our schools. I'm here in a local public school in Massachusetts, and the number one issue that Colorado educators are facing is pot. And in towns especially that really value their school systems, people they'll spend more in real estate because it's a good school system. Do we really want to introduce a drug into that particular school system that's going to become the issue that it is in Colorado? Also want to talk about this whole idea again of legalizing this drug. Many will say that if you legalize the drug, you'll do away with the black market and you'll have less usage of that drug. Clearly this graph here says that these drugs up here that are harder drugs, heroin, cocaine, things of that nature, you can see that they are used much less than drugs here in the bold that are legalized. This represents tobacco and alcohol. So clearly this graph here is just showing that once you legalize a drug, you increase exponentially the use of that drug. Also want to talk about some more information here. If you want to find out any more about what we're doing in the Bay State regarding life, liberty, marriage, and also marijuana, please visit us on our website at mafamily.org. We'd love to be in touch with you and further partner on our mission. And then also just the question we have is, will you partner with us? We put together a curriculum called Engage the Bay State that goes over a lot of the issues that we're concerned about, whether it's at our State House or in our public schools. We put together a curriculum that you can go over with your own family, or perhaps you're part of a church or a community group. We'd love to have your church or community group start a group maybe in their small group or in a Sunday school environment and teach this class. It's an 8-week course called Engage the Bay State. And before I leave you here, I want to just mention a quick story that is so encouraging regarding this whole marijuana issue in Massachusetts. We were partnering with about 30 churches in the city of Lawrence. And those 30 churches came together and 200 people showed up at the city council back in the summer of 2017 and influenced the city council to vote 8-0 to ban the commercialization of marijuana in the city of Lawrence. And we're seeing this happen over and over, time again, in towns and cities that really are noticing or understanding what they voted for in the fall of 2016 was really not what they thought they were voting for. We're seeing that when local votes are taken in cities and towns across Massachusetts, typically it's 65 to 80% of the people that vote to ban the commercialization of marijuana. So clearly, as people get educated, they're finding out the dangers of this drug, especially to our youth. And let me just say it again. We already decriminalized marijuana in 2008. So if people come and say, well, the war on drugs hasn't necessarily worked, well, again, we decriminalized it, okay? So people are not going to jail because they're taking marijuana. And then also, for those of us that are concerned about the medicinal uses of marijuana, again, that was legalized in 2012. So commercialization is a whole another animal and really does target our youth. And we hope, again, that you will partner with us to strengthen and protect the family in Massachusetts in this unique way. We're happy to come and speak at your church, speak at your city council, whatever it might be, in the interests of the health of our youth. So again, You can visit us on our website at mafamily.org. Again, mafamily.org. My name is Michael King from Massachusetts Family Institute. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. There will be more to come regarding our mission, our shared mission on life, liberty, and marriage. Thank you so much.